candidate Donald Trump. And let's bring in Mike Barnacle, Sam Stein, and Michael Steele into the conversation. Just reading a Washington Post story about Ben Carson. I want to ask you about Dr. Carson, Donald, because a couple of times you've talked about hitting his mom in the head with a hammer and stabbing someone in negative light, meaning has it come so crazy that we're actually arguing that this happened as a good thing? He actually meant that these things happened in his life, and faith turned him around. Is it fair the way you're characterizing those two events? And how important is faith for someone who wants to lead a nation?
I think faith is very important, and I'm a Protestant, I'm a Presbyterian. I think faith is very important, and I don't want to really get into it with Ben because I have a very good relationship. But he wrote a whole thing about with a hammer and going after his mother with a hammer and hitting people in the face with locks and things like that.
It was about finding his faith.
No, I know. But they're pretty severe. I never went after my mother with a hammer, that I can tell you. And if I did, I was in big trouble. I was in big trouble. But it was a whole thing. And Ben understands. He wrote about it. I'm not telling anything that's new. But I thought it was sort of a strange situation.
Does Ben Carson have trouble with the truth?
I don't know, Joe. I don't want to really get into that because I have a very good relationship with him. It's sort of amazing. Some of these guys you would think, like Marco last night, were like best friends, and even with Jeb, he couldn't have been nicer. I have really a very good relationship with so many of these people. And last night it was amazing because the lights went on. You never know what's going to happen. Are you going to be attacked, and do you go for the kill, right? That was not really necessary. And I have to tell you, I give so much credit to the commentators last night, the three folks. They did such a good job.
It was very well run.
Mike Barnacle.
Donald, last night you and the others on the stage spoke about issues of global importance, about the future of this country and the future of our role in the world. For too many families in this state and in other states, the future is like this afternoon due to the drug crisis in New Hampshire and otherwise, heroin, an overflow of heroin.
Heroin in particular.
So treatment facilities are necessary in this state and other states. Treatment facilities cost money, cost less than incarceration. What is your view on how we get more treatment facilities in this state and other states?
Well, you do have to have that, and it's amazing. I've gotten, as you know, I'm up here a lot. In fact, from here I go and make a speech at a certain place, and we're going to have a lot of fun. And I'm in New Hampshire so much, and I'm doing great in New Hampshire. I'm leading in the polls by a lot, and we're having a lot of fun here. And I've gotten to know the people. I have a lot of friends, and people don't realize the heroin product. It's so incredible what's going on in terms of heroin addiction in New Hampshire. You don't think of New Hampshire that way, and most people. I was very surprised when I learned about it to the extent a couple of years ago. One of the things about the border is, it's coming over the border. This stuff is coming. It's pouring right over that border, the same border that I'm talking about, and other places, but for the most part, the same border that I'm talking about. We have to stop it from coming in, but you have so many people that are already hooked, and it is a really strong hook, and we have to do clinics. We have to do something to help them. New Hampshire has an unbelievable problem. I guess more per capita than any other place. It's incredible.
Just to follow up, though, and then we'll go to Sam. But you would be willing to spend money to pay for the treatment facilities?
You have to. It's not like, would I be willing
Mental
to?
health.
They have such a problem here. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. New Hampshire seems to have a bigger problem than other places. But because you go to other places, they don't talk about it. Up here, I think it's maybe the #1 question I get is the heroin.
Well, the problem is it's cheap and it's coming in from places like Boston and Philadelphia. I'd like to broaden this out a bit. The three of us, 5 of us actually, were in Wichita last week, and we were sitting down with people of the Koch brothers network about criminal justice reform. And the underlying premise of it was that we need to rethink our concepts of the drug wars, of incarceration. We need to rehab people in prison facilities. I'm wondering, you were a tough on crime guy. You have been a tough on crime guy, notably in the 80s and 90s. Have you had an evolution like a lot of the country has on this? Have you rethought some of your positions on this at all? No?
I'm tough on crime.
Okay. What about sentencing and
I'm a believer in
zero
being tough on
tolerance.
crime. I really am. I'm tough on crime. and we have to stop crime. You look at what's going on in the inner cities right now, it's unbelievable. Where you go to places like Chicago, and it's all in one little section, and but boy, it's like the Wild West.
But like the 3 strikes you're out stuff, the criminalizing
Well, you can certainly
marijuana.
think, and marijuana you have to start looking at very strongly because people are being hurt very badly by marijuana, and then you have some states where it's totally legal.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to start looking at that, absolutely. Sam.
Michael Steele.
The exchange last night between Rand Paul and Marco Rubio, for me, was probably one of the most important exchanges for the National Republican Party. It exposed, I think, a very deep fissure. What is your view of that fissure, that tension that exists right now between the traditional view of cutting the spending and getting control of our debt and deficits, and wanting to expand, as a lot of the neocon hawks want to do, military engagements as well as defense spending?
Well, my view is you have 2 sections of the party. I will say, for the most part, people in my party, the Republican conservative group of people, you know very well, I mean, we're more for, we want to strengthen up. We need strength. The world is looking to kill us. The world is looking to blow us up. We have a lot of problems. And so for the most part, people would not be on the Rand Paul side of that equation. But there is a big faction that feels, look, we got to get our house in order. And I understand it. And I actually think we can do both. I'm very much into the military, but I also want to bring back our jobs. I want to make great trade deals. I want to bring commerce back to our country. We don't make things anymore. You take a look. Look at Caterpillar stock. Look at some of these companies. Komatsu is killing them, and other companies are absolutely killing them. We have to bring our jobs back, and we can have both.
All right, still ahead this morning, we have presidential candidates Chris Christie, Lindsey Graham, and Mike Huckabee. But first, it's a family affair. They say you can tell a lot about a person by their children. Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump joined their father here on set, live in Manchester, New Hampshire. Stay with us.
Hey YouTube fans, I'm Luke Russert. Thanks for checking out our MSNBC channel. Subscribe by clicking right here, and click any of the videos over here to watch the latest breaking news, mini documentaries, conversations from Shift, and other digital exclusives. Check it out.